Good morning, Bhargav. It's Friday, the 24th of February. Here's the heads up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 21 issues. North Asia, we covered six. And for the Australasia and Pacific Islands, we covered six. In South Asia, we covered 14 issues plus the major issues in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions.
Hello there. Which are the major issues among these what you have covered?
Right. So, in Papua, Indonesia, riots broke out in Wamena in the highlands yesterday. 9 people were killed. Now, this was over rumors of a child abduction, and police, while trying to disperse protesters, opened fire on them. So, tensions are very high at the moment there, and violence could break out.
That's interesting. I am guessing here that social media and media in general have played a spoil sport as well. So we'll have to watch this issue carefully, especially if the tribal violence spreads across the region.
Yep. Also in Indonesia, a police officer who had shot a brigadier in the controversial Ferdy Sambo case last year has been allowed to stay on the force. Now, this raises questions about the police's pledges to reform themselves after a series of scandals last year, including the Ferdy Sambo case, in which a general ordered the killing of his brigadier in his house in Jakarta.
This seems like a typical tendency of blue protecting the blue. So police take care of their own, but we'll see how the issue develops.
Yeah, definitely. South Korea's POSCO International said that it won gas exploration rights in Indonesia. This is around the Bunga gas block of the eastern side of Java. It will be
All
working with
right.
Pertamina. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Moving on to Timor-Leste, Prime Minister Tuan Matanzao claimed that President Jose Ramos Horta has abused his power to pressure the Prime Minister in a recent investigation. Now, this comes ahead of the parliamentary elections that are coming up in May, and the president and the prime minister are on different ends of the political spectrum, so tensions will increase over the coming months.
Okay. Uday, we'll have to keep a close eye on this and see if we can issue an assessment or an advisory to our clients.
Yeah, sure. Moving over to South Asia, Bhargav, violence broke out in um, about 25 kilometers from Amritsar in Ajnala in Punjab after supporters of a pro Khalistani leader, Amritpal Singh, laid siege to a police station there. They were demanding that the police free one of their members who was implicated in a kidnapping and extortion case, and also remove charges against their leader, Amritpal Singh, who was also implicated in the same case. And the police agreed to their request, and the mob went away.
Uday, this presents concerns at multiple levels. Firstly, the bigger picture of law and order and the capability or competence of the Aam Aadmi Party-led government in Punjab will be called into question. A state government coming under pressure of some fringe group, especially which doesn't really have enough pull across the state. So it basically shows their lack of resolve or their tendency to play to the crowds, or even their ability or lack of experience in handling law and order. At the same time, media paints these issues as a bigger Khalistan issue, which was a separatist movement. In reality, that may not be entirely true, especially if such major Khalistan elements do get involved. The central agencies will be hyperactive and they track these things very, very frequently and quite efficiently, as witnessed in recent years. So, law and order across the state is a major concern and will be a concern until the state government buckles up.
Right, definitely. And I think your point about the lack of experience of the Aam Aadmi Party government is really good because while it was ruling in Delhi, it's not in charge of the police there. That comes under the purview of the central government, Whereas now
Yes,
in Punjab, it has to, actually manage a state which has insecurity and a lot of issues.
that's right. Yeah, so even the current chief minister, he was member of parliament in Delhi as an MP. So he doesn't really have an experience in administration, let alone law and order.
Right. Also in India, Bhargav, members of the Gorkha Land movement have threatened demonstrations. This is ahead of the elections next year because they want separate statehood. Now, this movement was big in about 2017 when they brought West Bengal and disrupted it for a few months. But then after that, they signed a deal with the government, but they feel that they've been ignored by the West Bengal government over these years, and thus the movement has come back to demand an independent Gorkha land.
So I will not speak to the legitimacy of their claims. However, this shows a political opportunism on their front, especially after they signed an agreement with the West Bengal government. However, the state politics is quite archaic, and the region around Siliguri and Darjeeling in the north of the state has always been tense, especially with multiple ethnic groups settling in the area. So violence can't be ruled out, especially in the northern areas. But as the election comes up, such controversial issues in a state like West Bengal is not uncommon.
Right. Lastly, in Bangladesh, authorities have increased security at a book fair in Dhaka after someone claiming to be from the terrorist group Ansar al-Islam uh, made a call and threatened to attack during the book fair. It could be a hoax call, but authorities have increased security there.
All right.
Lastly, in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions, in Germany, a far-right group will protest in Berlin against Germany's support for Ukraine. This is interesting because right-wing leaders are also expected to join the protests.
That's interesting, Uday.
Bhargav, that's a brief for today. Anything else from you?
Nothing else from my end for today. Thank you. It was a good brief.
Thanks.